All right, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. YouTube is not paying me, so I do what I want. All right, man. So the verdict is in. Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Rightfully so, I should say. But the looming question that I see all over the internet and all over Facebook and all over everywhere is, what if Kyle Rittenhouse was black? Right? And it's a lot I have to say about that, because the mainstream media and most people are running with this narrative that if Kyle Rittenhouse was black, he would have been found guilty, and he would have been absolutely found guilty, because in America, a black person can't claim self-defense. Now, here's my thing, right? When you replace Kyle Rittenhouse with a black person, you have to replace the victims or the guys he shot with black people, right? To be fair, right? So you have to replace the two, because you can't just replace Kyle Rittenhouse because he killed two white guys. So you can't replace him and then put a black guy there and say, hey, well, if it was a black guy, then he would have been found not guilty. So you have to replace the white guys too with black guys. Right. Okay. So let's run with that. We never talk about how us as black people kill each other. We want to shy away from that. We never talk about how y'all are more concerned about a white boy killing two white boys and wounding another white boy than y'all concerned about this black man who just got killed a couple of days ago by black men. That's my biggest issue with us as a community. We so worried about other things that we can't even worry about ourselves. Like, let's just put this in perspective, right? Everybody also says that Kyle shouldn't have been there, right? Oh, he shouldn't have been there. Why was he going there? Why did he go there? He went there to do this. He went there to do that. Why were they there? Why was those three guys there? They wasn't protesting. They was there to disrupt. They was there to disrupt. How are y'all defending those guys? They didn't further the cause of us as black people. Actually, they set us back, because they was there to instigate a fight. That's just the bottom line. I don't see why people don't understand that part. Why are y'all so upset that Kyle went there, but y'all not upset that these three felons went there? What do you think they were going to do? So people say, oh, well, you bring up their record. Yes, I can. I can bring up their record, because one of them was a convicted child molester, and he wasn't even supposed to be around minors. So with that being said, it's ironic that he actually got killed by a minor. which is crazy. So my thing is, why are y'all so concerned about the system that y'all say y'all hate so much? It's the same system, the same prosecutors that prosecute black men. And y'all are siding with the prosecutors. I could see if y'all said, hey, listen, I'm glad that Kyle got off, because now when a black person get in a position like this, it shouldn't be no reason for them not to claim self-defense. But instead, y'all side with the same states that y'all claim y'all hate. Y'all hate the prosecutors. Y'all hate the state. And some of y'all get on here and say, oh, the judge was his friend, and the judge was siding with him. The judge resides over the case. The judge is not the jury. He's not the jury. Let's just get that out the way. That's number one. Number two, what really bothers me when people say the judge, did y'all watch the case? Because if y'all did, y'all would know that the prosecution was doing some shady shit. They knew that boy had the right to have that gun. But they didn't say nothing until it was brought up. Then once it was brought up, then all of a sudden they had to admit that he was in possession of a legal firearm. They had to admit it. So anybody that talks about this case and they tell you that he brought the gun across state lines illegally, they didn't watch the case. They're listening to Joy Reid and MSNBC and all the blue check marks. That's who they're listening to. They don't really know what actually happened. This is what kills me about y'all and this narrative. Y'all would run with a narrative. Most of y'all, some of y'all, I'm gonna play a video and I'll be back.
I simply wanted to publicly announce that the verdict of the Kyle Rittenhouse case has been nothing more than a disgusting reminder of what it's really like to be black in America. All the protesting, everything we went through in 2020, we really would think would make a change, but clearly it doesn't. We scream Black Lives Matter, but it doesn't matter enough for these people who are in power, the jury, the judge, anybody, to charge this man with murdering and taking away two beautiful black lives at the ripe ages of 26 and 36. It's disgusting. We can't go to the store, rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. We can't lay in bed, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. And we can't even protest without our lives being on the line. And that's what we fight for, what we fight for.
Some of y'all think that he shot black people. It's some of y'all who really believe that this man shot 3 black people. It's unbelievable how y'all believe that this man shot 3 black people. How the hell can you? It's too much information for you to believe that this man shot 3 black people. I don't understand it. Now all of a sudden y'all care about the jiu-jitsu system. Y'all care about this system now? Everybody loves this system now, right? Y'all all think that because he was a white boy and he shot 2 white boys, killed 2 white boys, all of a sudden it's not justice. Oh, because those 2 white boys was for the cause. They was down for Black Lives Matter and he was there for Jacob Blake. Let's be clear about this, right? This all started because of Jacob Blake, right? All it started because of Jacob Blake. Do y'all know the history of Jacob Blake? Do you know who called the cops on Jacob Blake? His girlfriend. Jacob Blake's girlfriend called the cops on him. Jacob Blake had a knife. He got shot by the cops. I'm so sick of y'all, sick and tired of y'all defending criminals. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting. This is why us as black people, we can't never get nowhere, because y'all always defending criminals. That's unbelievable. Then okay. I understand the police brutality. I understand all that. I get it. I get the police brutality. I get it. I know that us as black people, we are looked at a certain way. I get it. But as a male, a straight male who hasn't gotten in trouble or don't get in trouble, it's more likely that I'm not going to get shot by a cop. Right? Let's just be clear here. If I abide by the law, most likely I'm not going to get shot by a cop. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen and you can't get shot by cops. I am saying that usually you don't hear about a person who is abiding by the law getting killed by cops in outlandish numbers. You don't hear about that. But you do hear about criminals that us as black people always defend. Again, we're defending 3 guys. One of them on the stand, he admitted that he pointed the gun at the young boy's head and was going to shoot him. He said it on the stand. So how is it that y'all so upset about this? The guy told on the stand that he was going to shoot the boy in his head. And then his friend comes to the hospital with him, and his friend puts on Facebook that I wish he's basically, I'm paraphrasing, basically he's lucky that he didn't get a whole clip emptied in his head or emptied into him. A 17-year-old boy, these men are grown men. They're grown men. He was a 17-year-old boy, and you're telling me that y'all okay with these grown men threatening to kill a 17-year-old boy? These men have charges, but y'all defending these men. Now, again, our past discretions don't always mean that we're trouble. But if you look at their charges, you could have known that they were going there for trouble. The dude was filming. He had somebody film him trying to kill him. So I don't understand how y'all defending this. Make it make sense for me, because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense how y'all defending this. I get it that there was at Black Lives Matter protests. I get it. But you notice there was no black people involved. Not one black person. Maybe I think it was one, but they don't even know. But there was no black people in sight. There was black people walking around with guns, and there was black people peaceful protesting. But you know who was doing all the bullshit? The 3 white boys, or the white boys. They were doing all the bullshit like they always fucking do. And y'all defending them. These same white boys go to Chicago, dress up, and this is documented, dress up and shoot niggas, and then turn around and act like they protesting with you. They break shit. I remember seeing the video where the white boy was hitting and this was in Philly. White boy breaking the shit. He said, yo, what the fuck are you doing, dog? He hitting the window with a skateboard, trying to break the window. This is what they do. They're anarchists. Y'all need to learn y'all fucking history and start looking up shit. Why are we defending these guys who try to kill this young boy? Now, if you say, oh, he went there to shoot motherfuckers.
Rittenhouse is basically what you would have had in a school shooter. He's a 17-year-old kid. He shouldn't have had a gun. He crossed state lines to supposedly protect property. No, he was going out to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the armed teenage vigilante.
A 17-year-old vigilante, arguably a domestic terrorist, picked up a rifle, drove to a different state to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a guy who's deeply racist, went with weapons to a Black Lives Matter protest looking to get in trouble. He did. He murdered a couple of people.
Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old kid, just running around, shooting and killing protesters.
You see the 17-year-old who was radicalized by Trumpism, took his AR-15 to Kenosha and became a killer.
A white, Trump-supporting, MAGA-loving, Blue Lives Matter social media partisan, 17 years old, picks up a gun, drives from one state to another with the intent to shoot people.
He went to shoot people. If he was an active shooter who was running through the crowd shooting people, wouldn't he have shot other people? You telling me that this wasn't a case of self-defense? No self-defense, not at all. That's what you're telling me? You're saying that he gets hit in the head with a skateboard. He don't have a right to defend himself? Okay. All right. I got you. Now you said if he was black. So would it be self-defense then? If you say he was black, that's what y'all saying. Y'all telling me if Kyle Rittenhouse was black, would this have been self-defense? Forget the verdict. Do you believe that this would have been self-defense? That's the question I got for y'all. Because y'all always screaming if he was black because y'all see that he was not guilty. But I'm asking y'all, would it be self-defense if he was black. And if you can answer that question, then it is what it is. But like I said, man, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hey, man, listen, man. I'm happy the young boy got off. I'm happy that he got off. Because I think that, to me, this is another step towards us, you know, looking at things from a perspective of if something like this was to happen, then we can say they can always reference back to the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is.